Hey everyone, Joey here, aka Animus, and first of all, I'm sorry that I haven't been able to post anything for about 2 weeks. Well, I have been able to, but it's just been really hectic with the end of lockdown school, everything being extremely stressful, me being very tired, everything being very hectic. I've kept meaning to make this, but I've just never really found the time until now. So, anyway, all we're doing today is I've had so many requests during my Kraftwerk videos to react to some of their other sort of non-album albums. No, albums that aren't mainline studio albums. These three in particular. There is The Mix, Minimum Maximum, and 3D The Catalogue. So, 3D The Catalogue in my eyes was out of the question, seeing as it's a 4.5 hour box set of all of their albums, Autobahn to Tour de France soundtracks. Sorry, forgot the name there. So that could be a whole series in itself. I'm not doing that on top of everything else. I'm sorry. And Minimum Maximum is a live album, but like live versions. So sort of, I don't know if there's crowd noise in that or anything. Maybe they're like different versions. I don't know. I wasn't sure about that. But there is one that I decided on doing a sort of bonus reaction for after the 10 main studio albums, which is The Mix. This is supposed to be a sort of remix album, I guess, of tracks throughout their whole catalogue. Well, not Tour de France soundtracks, because this came out in 1991, but looks like albums between Autobahn and Electric Cafe. Sorry, going out of my head, I don't know why. So I don't really want to talk about it too much before this starts, but from what I can tell, 1991, it's probably a sort of guess about how it's going to sound. That would have been the time when I'm being a music historian again. Okay, I'm a very amateur music historian, but anyway, probably about the time when electronic music started being more danceable, things that people would dance to, more beat-based, beat-driven, also maybe more popular. I guess bands would have been merging like Orbital, Future Sound of London, The Orb, people like that. So maybe these are going to be more sort of danceable remixes of tracks that would have been more, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, there is one track, just going to say this now so I don't have to say it over the top of the music, Dentaku. I didn't recognize that name, I looked it up. It's just a Japanese version of Pocket Calculator, literally just in Japanese. So that's about it. Let's begin. First track is The Robots. This album is 1 hour and 5 minutes long, so it's going to be longest video yet, even longer than the Tour de France soundtracks video, but whatever. Let's hear what we get with this album. I'm actually really excited about this. Okay, first up, Robots Remix. Starting out exactly the same, from what I can tell. Yeah, literally nothing changed at the moment, but okay, that's different. I understand that they wanted the same intro, because that intro is still awesome. It's really reverby, like, I don't know, something off Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92 or something. But that album hadn't even come out at that time, so that bass line goes so well with a more like danceable beat. Maybe my prediction was right then, I don't know. The melody's a little bit moved around with like the timing and everything actually. Just a bit of a subtle change to it. they did change, yeah. Like I said, the timing's changed. So my singing along went wrong. They changed doom, 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 doom to doom, 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 doom. So, little change that I noticed. This is such a good song, honestly. Re-listening to the Man Machine, it's amazing. Yeah, much busier, more danceable, like I thought, I guess. Oh, this is, yeah, I feel like we're off to a good start. I think this album's gonna be fun. Still sounds really futuristic though, like the original, of course. It doesn't sound dated like some dance music from around that time did. Looking at You Green album. Sorry if I just offended any, what would you call them? Rave purists. I freaking love Orbital. I'm just not a big Green album fan. Much prefer stuff like Brown album and Insides, personally. Not massively changed, it's just feels updated, if you see what I mean. Yeah, they've added lots of reverb to everything, which really does give it a bit of a what would you call it, ambient house feel. I'm not an expert on genres, am I? Come on, give me a break, I'm 13. I was born in 2006. Oh, that's such a thick bass line. With literally a million C's on the end. Thick. Actually, come to think of it, I should probably stop saying memes when most of my audience seems to be people who were around for when this music came out. Like, yeah, like, come on, who even is my audience? I'm just having fun. Screw it. Oh, my back hurts. I want to lean back, but then I'm going to be, like, really small in frame. No, it's fine, actually. That's new. I remember those little sound effects. They're cool. Oh, this is so good. This track's going off on a little tangent that it didn't do in the original. More fast pace, actually. A bit more motion and progression in it, actually. Yeah, great way to open this album, by the way. I'm looking down, it's because I'm using the computer now, so I don't have to pick up my phone and turn it on to actually look at what's playing. So, if I'm looking there, then that's what that is. Oh my gosh. I can never get enough of that bass line, and when you combine it with that big kick, it makes it so rhythmic. Like what I said last time about the clicks making a little rhythm, it's like it's so tight. I keep doing the man machine rhythm, different rhythm to this one. Beep, 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 beep. Keep getting it wrong. Beep, 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 beep. It's nice, it makes it feel a little bit more sort of... It's a little bit... I'm not criticising the original, but it makes it a little more exciting, less completely on the beat, like it was in the original, because I'm not saying anything bad about the original. The original had a very sterile feel, which is like sort of thing they were going for, I guess. This is a more sort of interesting rhythm. Feels less quantized. I mean, obviously it is quantized, but you know what I mean. It's not just all on the beat. There's that melody there. If you get me. Yeah, great opener. Really great opener. Next is Computer Lab. I'm really excited to see what they do with this, because it's probably my favourite Kraftwerk track throughout the whole series, like I said in my video at the end. Yeah, this is definitely new. Sweet! That sounded really cringy, but that is just really... This sounds great. Yeah, like I said, it does not sound nearly as dated as some pieces of electronic music from around the time. And it still sounds like Kraftwerk, it's just really... Oh my god, there's so many layers to this. The best melody of all time. My god. Lyrics are different. Are the lyrics different? I swear I don't remember some of those lines. Don't know. I don't remember that. Computer love. Little vocoder. Sounds a bit Russian. Computer. Sorry. Oh gosh, this sounds so good. Here in England we say data. For your information. Data. Sounds a bit weird. It's English accent, but saying data. So, whatever. I'm going way off topic. This track is one of the warmest sounding tracks I've ever heard. It's beautiful. So when you add it with such a dance beat, it feels so propulsive and anthemic. So this is like the best you could do with a remix of this track. Guys, has anyone noticed I have like nothing to criticize in these reactions ever? Except for some of, like, one or two of their albums. Like, their discography is unbelievably consistent. Because of course it is. They're Kraftwerk. Yeah, I love that little clicky noise, the reverb going onto it and stuff. And the panning. Cool little section. Yeah, they've added like these other little sections of weird noises. This sounds beautiful. Oh, thank you guys for requesting me to react to this, because otherwise I wouldn't have thought of it. I mean, I would have listened to it, but like, I would have regretted not filming this video. Yeah, you probably knew I'd enjoy it. So yeah, I like both of the tracks I've heard so far. Well, track I've heard and the track I'm hearing. I love them both in a different way to the way I love the originals. I think they're doing a great job so far with this thing. Every time that little that thing comes in, oh my god, actually getting chills down my spine. Oh my god. That was so good. That was so good. Pocket calculator next.
I'm the operator with my pocket calculator.
Yes, you are. That was way more spoken. That was not in the original. That was spoken word bit. I mean, it was always spoken word, but that was like matter of fact, not rhythmic or anything. Oh, that's a fat kick. They got a little reverse thing as well, so it goes like that. It's almost like It's funnier the way he says it in such a matter-of-fact way. Makes the track even quirkier. You see how all of these tracks are stuck into my head so much, even if I've listened to them once or twice.
By pressing down the special key, it plays a little melody. By pressing down the special key, it plays a little melody.
Yeah, another little tangent. Oh, this track just makes me smile whenever I hear it. Yeah, they're so much busier and faster, aren't they, these versions? It's just so much fun to listen to. They added so many more of those bleepy bloopy noises. It's so fun. So many of these tunes are so hard to hum along to because if I sing them in the same octave that they're in, they're very high. If I sing an octave lower, they're very low. And then my voice just cracks. I don't think calculators actually do that though. If they did back in the 80s, then that sounds cool. And now we've gone right into Dentaku, which as I imagined, was continuously mixed in with the original pocket calculator. So I guess I just go start singing in Japanese then. Yeah. Who is that on vocals? I really don't think it's the guys themselves. I always forget who was the singer. Florian? Oh guys, I forgot again. I'll put it on screen. So you don't have to get mad at me in the comments. I don't know if the lyrics are exactly the same or any different. Cool little ascending riff. Is that just saying I'm the operator of my pocket calculator in Japanese? Or is it something different? I don't know. I'm not Japanese. So this Pocket Calculator suite here is nearly 8 minutes long. So, yeah. It's like an extended jam. Interesting idea to put the Japanese version, do a remix of the Japanese version as well. But, yeah, it works. Yeah, the vocals have another funny effect on them that sounds a bit different to the original as well. Might turn the volume down a little bit, people in the other room. There. Yeah, that was decent. I still think the first two tracks were... I don't think that little suite was quite as good as the first two remixes. But it was still good. Okay, Autobahn. 9.5 minutes long, so less than half of the length of the original, but, like, they're not going to put another 20-minute mix, are they? Interesting to see what a dance mix of Autobahn's going to sound like. Don't remember that little harmony there. Is the next one gonna go? Yep. Musical knowledge. You can predict the next note. No, I'm joking. That's a typical progression. By the way, I listened to the original track on the road, like I said I would. And it was amazing. It was so much better, actually. Actually moving along and taking in the view around you, it was so great. This sounds virtually unchanged so far, like this... Well, the structure of the track has obviously changed, but I can't hear any obvious musical differences. But I imagine that's going to change later on. Feels a bit faster, actually. Yeah, it's definitely faster. I don't know how I picked up on that before. Didn't remember the melody going down there either. Yeah, it sounds like the vocals have been re-recorded. Yeah, also these remixes, it means that, like, even though their albums have big changes in musical style, the remixes do blend well together. They're not jarring or anything. Still feels pretty chill. Less, fast-paced and intense as the last two. Not intense, but you know what I mean. Dancey. But actually, come to think of it, dancey Autobahn is a pretty weird concept in my head. I don't know, we'll see what they do. Still. Most of the track left. Could just be an intro or something. they haven't changed a ton, then I might not have all that much to say, which might be an issue. Okay. And we've got the weird, dissonant vocoders. The lack of backing in this section makes it feel significantly creepier, actually, with the vocoders. Sounds like filtered white noise. Can't remember if the pitched around car horns were on the original. Just moving into the center. Yeah, this sounds a lot like that section of the original track, but it is different. It's sparser. Yeah, at least they're doing something different though. Was a bit worried at the beginning that this would be a really uninteresting reaction. God, we've already been filming for half an hour. Not even halfway through the album. Well, we're nearly halfway through the album, actually. That sounds pretty cool. Actually, yeah, I really like what they're doing. They're playing around more with different car sound effects. All these tracks seem to have some sort of section where they go off on some weird, journey through some weird sound effects and stuff where the melody cuts out and it's just a beat and noises like this. That melody never gets old though. Actually, I don't think it... Actually, I forget what they said about it being faster. I'm not sure if it is actually that faster. I think it might be the same speed. I'm not sure. Again, future me will save me with editing. That's new. Why does it sound like a cappella? These harmonies. This is really weird. I don't know what to think of this. Sorry guys, that section did not work for me. I don't know. That was weird. I didn't like what they're doing with it. Just... I don't know. Just an Autobahn remix where the mood of the track isn't really changed all that much, but it's shortened and there are a few little changes made. It doesn't really... I don't think it really works for me. Maybe this remix album, the rest of it's gonna be a bit hit and miss. Like the first two tracks were major hits. Third and fourth were okay. This one, don't really think is anything I'm going to be really coming back to. Like, why would I listen to this when I could just listen to the original? I don't know. It's decent. There's nothing bad about it. Of course, it's Kraftwerk. But a bit unnecessary in my opinion. Which is literally like the first time I've had any piece of major criticism for what felt like ages. It's very rare listening to the Kraftwerk discography. Well, it's not a major piece of criticism, but just something to say that isn't, this is so good. I don't know, why does it sound like an a cappella band? Sorry guys, Autobahn remix didn't really work for me. It was just fine, you know, it was just fine. See what they do with Radioactivity. That's weird. What language is that? This is cool. Sounds kind of dark. Maybe that's just like chopped up German something. That melody works so well in a dancey track. Right, volume's going back up a bit. Yeah, see that's the thing. Autobahn dance remix, well, that was barely even a dancey remix, like most of the tracks on the album didn't just really work out, but some tracks such as this feel destined for such a remix. It's like a sort of dark, groovy piece. Yeah, turning up a bit more. Do remember doing this little pitched up bit? Yeah, subtle little changes. If I were them, I would have ditched the choir. I don't feel like the choir worked more in like the ambient feel of the original, better than it does in a dancey remix. It's fine, but personally I would have maybe replaced it with something else. Or maybe like sidechained it or something. I don't know, it's cool, I don't mind. We're going off on a, yeah, second section, as usual. Oh, it's so tight. I really like that reverby, dark voice there. By the way, that sound is so much fun. Feels so industrial. I'm not talking about industrial music, I just mean like industrial. You get me? Yeah, that sounds really sort of chopped up, like each beat sounds like chopped up bit of vocals from somewhere. I don't know what language it's in though. Yes. Maybe could have done with a bit more of a snare. Well, like, the snare's good, but I feel like it could have been a little bit higher up in the mix. Yeah, the snare and the hi-hat maybe could have made it feel a bit more different to the original. I feel like if it had a beat like kind of thing. I don't know. Just thinking, really funny things, remixes, aren't they? Particularly if you're changing the feel of the track. But it definitely very much works well, this remix. By the way, none of these tracks overstay their welcome either. They're just the right balance of repetitivity and not going on too long. Which is sort of an oxymoron, but you know what I mean, like the right balance of length. I'd say I still prefer the original to this track, I think, but yeah, they did a decent job. Definitely a good job with this remix. And it is now drawing to a close. So, next is the whole Trans-Europe Express suite. It's significantly shortened, but yeah, Trans-Europe Express, Abzug, and Metal on Metal. Let's go. God, this music is... that progression of notes is so good, but it will forever give me bad memories of the interruption. This doesn't feel all that changed so far, except for the fact that we got sort of right into the action. Maybe could have had a bit more of an intro, I don't know. I guess these 3 tracks, don't want to take up too much of the album, but I don't know. Don't remember that little line there. It was really low and muttered, I couldn't really tell. I heard T-E-E though. Yeah, nothing seems really that changed. I don't know, the beat the beat feels exactly the same, and so does most of the instruments. The rhythm, the sounds a little bit different, but it mostly just sounds like a re-recording. I'm not sure. I hope this album hasn't fallen off. Yeah, definitely English. Yeah, it's quite cool, the little... Well, yeah, that's another major addition, that little vocal line there. It wasn't in the original. I don't think. And the sort of... that melodic vocoder sound. Or just, you know, edited vocals, whatever. Is this really adding anything? That's the thing. Do I really... The changes feel a bit insignificant. I don't know. I guess the worst thing a remix can do is probably give you no reason to listen to it instead of the original. I don't know. I just stop saying, I don't know. It's annoying. I say that after every criticism. Anyway, we're getting into Abzug here. I don't really remember all that much about Abzug and Metal on Metal. It's definitely not Abzug. It's only 22 minutes, 20 seconds. But I don't really remember that. It could have been the original, it could not. I don't think it was in the original. Maybe I should have done a bit more of a recap. I listened to quite a few of their albums again. Trans-Europe Express was one I didn't, so maybe it would help to have known the original tracks a bit more before listening to this, but most of them seem to stick in my head quite a lot. Sounds cool, even if I can't remember if it was massively changed or not this moment, although my attention is not held as with the first couple of remixes. I'm gonna have to use the B word. No, not that B word, I mean, like, you know. It's not quite boring, I wouldn't go so far as saying that, but insignificant is the word, I think. It's called a remix, it needs to, you know. Metal on Metal here. Sorry, I forgot to say. You saw the text change anyway. The Metal on Metal is actually longer than the original Trans-Europe Express here. 5 minutes. Come on guys, do something interesting. I mean, there are lots of cool things going on with those pitched around sound effects. Although, again, I can't remember if those were in the original or not. I need to give it another listen. Yeah, I don't think it did this much messing around with sound effects, the original. I guess if it had, I would have remembered. Which is often the way with Kraftwerk. Bit annoying that they included the entire 3-part suite without making it all that interesting. Yeah, that's what was in the original, wasn't it? That little... I can hear it's coming. That was definitely in the original. Yeah, that's what I remember from Metal on Metal. Oh, and they brought back the melody from Trans-Europe Express, wasn't it? I remember, yeah. And they're doing it here as well. This feels identical. Like these sections where they use the same things as the original, it feels identical. It's... I don't know, it's really... They're really hit and miss, these remixes. Ugh. I'm not looking down too much in this video. Okay, that sounds a bit different. Still though, they could at least have like, because there's so much of a beat and a rhythm that goes throughout this entire 3-part suite. They could have at least switched that main rhythm up a little bit. Like, not get it exactly the same. Because the suite lasts, how long? Like, 11 minutes, something like that. And if you're sitting here listening to it after hearing the original a little bit, this video isn't too bad, but at least it's nowhere near Kraftwerk 2 level. Well, these sections of the video probably won't be as good, but as with the album, these sections are not so good. But, yeah, still coming to the end. So, what I've heard so far, Robots, Computer Love. Oh, yeah, trace sound effect. Yeah, Robots, Computer Love, Radioactivity were really good. Pocket Calculator and Dentaku were pretty good, and then not so big on the others. Home Computer now. 2 more tracks. Oh, so they've combined It's More Fun to Compute and Home Computer, I guess? Or was that line in Home Computer anyway? I don't know. I guess they were a bit of a 2-part track anyway. That sound is pretty similar to the one in Radioactivity, actually. But I think it was in the original, so forget I said anything. I think the instrumentation is a little bit different with that melody. Aside from that, again, this feels... the main beat to it could be a bit different and stuff. Ugh, gosh. It's funny how the music you're listening to can make you feel way more energized than you would be, or way more tired than you would be. Maybe I'm just too tired at the moment. I don't know. But remember, I did feel that way when I listened to Kraftwerk too, so maybe it's saying a bit more about the music. Yeah, again, I don't really know the original well enough to make a big comparison, but I do feel as if from what I can remember, I feel as if I'm listening to the original, just with slightly altered instrumentation, just the way it sounds. I think the original home computer probably works better on its own than it did in the context of the album. It wasn't amazing in the context of the album, although, yeah, having fun with it actually. Well, I'm not that impressed that they didn't really change anything, but home computer does feel like a better track than I remembered. Now that tune is coming back into my head. Even though I'm listening to a remix, it's pretty much the same as what I remembered. Yeah, you know, I shouldn't have to know the original really well to tell where the differences are. Because, like, I don't know. They just... I'm not having all that much fun with this, and I can't help it. Sorry. It feels more of an updated version than a remix. I guess they're not... I don't know if they're really branding them as remixes. Really selling them as remixes, but the album's called The Mix, so... Like, the original was quite a sparse track, which I guess, well, sparse as in there wasn't all that much instrumentation, so it worked quite well in the context of that album. That was... This remix, I feel like it was a bit of a missed opportunity to add some more interesting stuff into the background. As with a lot of the other remixes they did, they could have really, with that really sort of sparse section, they could have added something, couldn't they? Yeah, that's a neat little sound, I guess. But again, really, really subtle, and not all that much of a reason to listen to it over the original. We have passed the hour mark in terms of recording. Just one more track after this. Please, music non-stop, be good. Sorry, guys. I'm running out of things to say again. Did this need to be 8 minutes long, this mix? Again, there are moments of where it's basically just these little moments where basically all you hear is a beat between little phrases. Could have added something. There's an empty space to fill, guys. You're making a remix. What are you doing? Again, this placement as penultimate track, it's also a big disadvantage in that if you're listening to the album as a whole as well, it's a peak uninteresting moment, and they placed an uninteresting track at that point. Yeah, that was just not much to say about that. Okay, music non-stop. Why is Boing Boom Chak in this? Don't know. So, I often consider music non-stop to be sort of the second part of a techno-pop suite. So it's weird that there's this instead of techno-pop, but whatever. Interesting that they added the Boing Boom Chak line. So I don't remember that thing. Yeah. Doing something interesting again, I think. At last. Stop. Music. Non-stop. Actually, it's not musique now, it's just music. It's not English rather than what? Musique? Is that a French word? Yeah, I think it is. So, yet again, I can't remember the original all that well, but I don't know, this feels like it feels like it's gonna go somewhere. You see what I mean? Feels more. There have been lots more changes made, I can tell. This is a lot of fun. Again, could have added possibly another little element into this to make this remix more unique. But I like this little chopping around they're doing with it. And how they're combining like lots of different tracks from technopop or electric cafe or whatever. Sounds like turntable scratching almost. That's fun. Although, they could have, I don't know, doesn't really feel like much of a track to go out with a bang with. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking of this as an album, but I am listening to it all the way through, and it is an album, so maybe it would be better to place a more explosive track from their earlier career, possibly at the end. Like what, I don't know. You know what I mean. Seeing this was their most recent album at the time. And Music Non-Stop doesn't seem like an absolute Kraftwerk classic, the same way as some of their others are. I can't really tell what little tangents and sections are new and what was in the original, because the original had lots and lots of different little sections. Couldn't really remember all of them. I don't know, I said it was fun initially. It is fun, but what happened to that big, propulsive, massive, anthemic, dancey feel of the earlier album? I don't know. It feels a bit empty. The vibe of this album, what it's become at this point, and it shouldn't feel like that at the end. The end of the album, I don't know, I'm just talking structure of the album. I think that's a new bass line, actually, there. There. Techno Bob. Okay, we're closing out. Okay, that was the mix. I don't know what to think. My feelings are so mixed on this one. I'm not really sure. So the highlights of the album, clearly for me, were Robots, amazing. Computer Love, amazing. Radioactivity, pretty amazing. And also Pocket Calculator and Dentaku. When I was initially like, oh, these are pretty good, maybe nothing special. They were some of the better tracks on the album in the context. Because Autobahn, Autobahn, Trans-Europe Express, Abzug, Metal on Metal, Home Computer, Music Non-Stop didn't feel like they did enough to make me want to listen to them instead of the original pieces of music. They were basically the original, like, with changed lengths and structures and some minor alterations. Nothing that made them feel special, so I would not really go back to those tracks instead of the originals. So this album gave me 5 tracks, 5 remixes that were very, very good, and I will come back to. Maybe I'll just give this another listen, see if my mind changes on it. But yeah, very mixed feelings, hit and miss album. I have to give it a score. that's the thing. The robots and computer love are like, I don't know, they're like 8 out of 10s. Radioactivity is like a 7.5 or an 8. Pocket Calculator and Dentaku, both like 7.5s. Very good tracks. Or even higher ratings than that. I don't know. If the rest of the album was like that, it would have a shot at like a strong 8. But some of these tracks dragged the album down for me. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5 because despite there being some amazing tracks on here, the rather uninteresting tracks took up a big portion of the album, and there were some really weird decisions, weird decisions and missed opportunities. So generally I've got some mixed feelings on this album. Very mixed. But, yeah, that was my bonus reaction to the mix. I might have liked a bit more, might have wanted to go out with more of a bang. Well, this wasn't the last video I'll be making on Kraftwerk. Might have wanted to go out with more of a bang. But, the official ending to the Kraftwerk marathon was very good. Tour de France soundtracks, that was definitely a bang to go out with. This is just a little bonus reaction, so I don't know. It gave me some amazing tracks, but the mix is gonna have to be a 6.5 from me. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Some people might love the tracks that I didn't really like all that much. I really want to know what you guys think of this thing. This has been a lot of fun. Sad to know that I'm not going to be making another Kraftwerk video. I mean, I could, but I don't think I need multiple bonus reactions with minimum and maximum and 3D the catalogue. I will definitely check out those albums, though, in my own time, and maybe let you guys know what I think of them over on my social media. If any of you care to follow that. Yeah. That is about it. It's yet another awkward outro where I keep going, yeah, about it. But anyway. Okay, like I said, let me know what you guys think. I had a fun time. And that was Kraftwerk. That was my bonus reaction. Whew. Not doing this again. Goodbye. See you next time.